All right, we are proud and happy to be joined right now by the chairman of the House Republican Conference, the highest ranking woman in Congress, and someone who's been doing fantastic work all year on a variety of issues, not the least of which is holding Andrew Cuomo accountable. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik joins us live right now on WGY Mornings. Congressman, good morning.
Good to be with you, Doug.
Great to have you on as always. By the way, before we get into some of the political stuff, you're heading to North Carolina today. Is that correct?
I am. I am one of the surrogates for the Trump campaign, and we are on our way. I just had a very productive swing through my district, hitting 5 different counties, but clearly North Carolina is an important swing state, and we're going to sprint to the finish. And I'm very excited that President Trump has announced he'll be coming back to New York at Madison Square Garden.
So let's talk about that right off the bat, because I know you saw it. We all did, and we're all like, wow, really? So President Trump has had multiple assassination attempts on his life, multiple threats that have been called in as well. And so even Joe Biden has said, listen, we've got to cool down the rhetoric. Well, apparently not all New York politicians are getting the memo, because a state senator from down in New York City, Brad Hoylman Siegel, however he pronounces the last part of that, he said yesterday, this Trump rally that's coming to Madison Square Garden is the equivalent of the Nazi rally in 1939. So much for toning down the rhetoric, Congresswoman.
It's a disgrace. It is this type of rhetoric that unfortunately has fueled these vicious attacks on Trump, who has been attacked more than any other elected official or candidate in modern history. You go back to 2016 and just the media's treatment every single day. The Democrats need to condemn that remark. That includes Hakeem Jeffries, Kathy Hochul, and the New York Democrat Party. But, they won't, because they are just a disgrace at this point. And the most that the Democrat Party is focused on is they're obsessed with defeating Trump, but Trump's going to win because our voters are going to turn out. And I think it shows that the New York Democrat Party is really in free fall. You have an indicted New York City mayor. You have Kathy Hochul, who is the least popular New York governor in history, who today President Trump has higher approval ratings in the state of New York than Kathy Hochul. And then, of course, you have Kamala Harris, who is underperforming where Joe Biden was on the ballot in 2020 in every swing district in New York.
Imagine you, they're always out to get you and they always want to make you look bad, the Democrats. Imagine if you just mispronounced Kamala's name today and you said Kamala. Imagine the uproar that they would have about that. Meanwhile, one of their guys says that the Trump rally is the equivalent of a Nazi rally, and the silence is deafening from them.
It is. The silence is deafening, but that's why increasingly you're seeing not just Republicans, but independents and registered Democrats support President Trump, support our movement. We're seeing that all across these key congressional races in New York. And frankly, that's why statewide Republicans continue to do better and better in New York State, because just people see that the Democrat Party is broken today. It has broken itself to the radical far left, trying to appease the radical far left. It has gotten so far away from common sense where the vast majority of the American people are. And you know what else I've been paying attention to, Doug, is these debates. And it started with the vice presidential debate. You see it in these interviews with Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, and local debates. These Democrat candidates have been propped up by the media for all these years. And when they're asked really basic questions on important topics like inflation and the border, they just completely, they implode, and Republicans are winning all of these debates, all these key Senate debates, and all of the local debates as well.
Yeah, I think one of the Congresswoman Elise Stefanik joins us live here in GY Mornings. One of the best things Trump has going for him right now is that Kamala decided to do a media blitz, because, man, has that gone horribly, including her appearance on The View, which is as friendly a spot as she could ever had. And they asked her the most softball question ever. What differences would there be between a Harris administration and a Biden administration? And she said, nothing comes to mind at the moment. What a gift that is to you as you head down to North Carolina today. You can't say that loud enough from the mountaintops.
It is a gift. It is a political gift, and it just goes to show what we've been saying all along, is that this would be a continuation of the failed policies of Joe Biden, and that is the inflation policies, the wide open border. Of course, Kamala Harris is Joe Biden's open borders are, and the weak foreign policy and national security. So, again, there is a reason why the more interviews she does, the more the American people hear from her, the less support she has. So I hope she continues this failed media blitz, because it is exposing what Republicans have been saying all along. She's not fit to be president of the United States. It's a continuation of Joe Biden's absolutely abysmal record.
How about the fact that she tried to pick a fight with DeSantis this week while DeSantis is dealing with these hurricanes, and she said, he's playing politics with these, he won't even take my call. And then Biden comes out and goes, he's been great. He's doing great. I've talked to him multiple times. I even gave him my personal cell phone number, is what the president said. Totally undercutting what Kamala said. Did Biden do that on purpose because he doesn't like her, or does he just not even know what's going on anymore?
You know, it's going to be interesting when all of the articles and postmortems are written after this, what I believe will be a loss, a historic loss for Democrats, because President Trump is surging in places like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina. We're not going to take it for granted, but I do think it is an irony that the Democrat Party pushed out Joe Biden, and they realize they even have a weaker president in Kamala Harris. No one thought that was possible. She makes it possible. Just like, frankly, Andrew Cuomo, I never thought we'd get a less popular governor. We sure do have one in Kathy Hochul. So, again, Ron DeSantis, all the Republican governors are doing a very good job focusing on making sure that we have the resources we need in those key states, and certainly the American people are praying for Florida right now.
Two quick things before I let you go. One is Amsterdam, which is in your district, obviously became the epicenter for a time with that vote for Trump sign, which I know you saw personally. Are people talking to you going, what's this Amsterdam story all about?
Yeah, I love this story. I was able to see the CEO of Sticker Mule, who actually went to the same high school as I. He was a couple years ahead of me. And this is a great company right in Amsterdam. It employs thousands of people. It has helped redevelop the downtown of Amsterdam. And this is a business leader who strongly supports President Trump and the America First movement. And he has been smeared by local electeds. He has been smeared online. But again, he has said it is very important to speak out if you support President Trump. I'm so proud he has, and there was thousands of people that turned out in support. It was a great, great success, and just grateful for all of the investments Sticker Mule has made in our district in upstate New York.
And the other thing that you did this week, which I love, and you weren't old enough to remember it, but I sure was, the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, the victory that shocked the world, happened in Lake Placid, which happens to be in your district as well. You and a couple of other compadres there in Congress decided that we need a congressional medal to honor that team, and you guys are seeing that through. I love this.
Yes, I'm so proud to be one of the lead Republicans on this bill. Obviously, Lake Placid is in my district, and I wasn't born in 1980, Doug, but you know what? My dad was in Lake Placid for that game, and I grew up hearing those stories. I've been to so many commemorations. I've gotten to know members of the Miracle team, and this is, it doesn't get more American than that. The fact that you have gritty, amateur American hockey players who shocked the world when they out-hustled, out-skated the Soviet Union and then went on to win the gold medal. So it is well-deserved. I think we're going to have a lot of support, and it just is something very, very exciting for the North Country and for Lake Placid and Olympic history and American history. One of the greatest sports moments, if not the greatest sports moment of the 20th century, I would argue.
In an alternate universe, North Country is minding its own business, just going along and doing farming and apple cider and stuff like that right now. Instead, in this universe, it's like the epicenter. Stuff is jumping, stuff's happening, and it's all good.
It's all great. I always say I'm so proud to bring our issues to the highest levels of government, to talk about them every single day to the American people. The American people know where upstate New York and the North Country is on the map. They know our issues. I'm so proud to give us a seat every single day, and I'm going to continue fighting for our values.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, I always appreciate the time. I know it's precious with you. I know you're very busy. Safe travels down to North Carolina, and we'll talk again soon.
And I'll be home this weekend for the Saratoga Siege Weekend as we prepare to commemorate the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. The Saratoga 250 is doing great local events, so I want to encourage everyone to attend. Look up online, saratoga250.com.
As a matter of fact, Lauren Roberts will join us in the 8 o'clock hour from Saratoga County History to talk about that event, so we're looking forward to that conversation, too. Elise Stefanik, appreciate it, as always.
Bye, Doug.